This tutorial was brought to you thanks to the supporters on the screen. Check out TAPgiles.com to find more Dreams resources, donate to support my work, or engage my services to get private instruction or help on a project one-on-one. Here I'm showing a way of recording the position and rotation of any object as the scene plays, and playing it back perfectly. I wanted to talk about the minimum required stuff for it to capture and then what is required to leave there for it to work afterwards. So first, the minimum requirement is for a puppet object to be there, a puppet heart as it's known. So I'll just delete everything but the pelvis. And you actually don't need, normally this is linked up in the skeleton, so if I press triangle on that, now that's not linked up, and it doesn't know that there's anything there, so the base becomes really small. But that's just fine. You don't need that, all we need is a controller sensor. Don't need those, and the controller sensor needs to be possessable, which it is by default. And because the chip it's in has this wire and it's actually linked to the puppet heart group object thing, then that controller sensor possesses that object. Alternatively, you could take this out of the group and surface snap it onto here, and then you'll still be able to possess it. I think the pelvis is just movable, so let's make that not movable. You can possess that object, and now you're possessing that object. So you do that either way. The main thing is that there's a controller sensor that you can use to possess the object itself, and that allows you to use this record possession and possess into it. Let's try. Okay, so let's try again. I'll possess it using the record possession. And when I'm pressing X, it's showing that bit of text, and that should record. So if I play it back, now it's playing in the same way, and it's lighting that thing up, because I'm guessing it's because it's got a wire going into it. It's figured out that you probably want to record that. As for the location, okay, so I'm going to make some stuff hit this so it's kind of shoved around. So I'll use an action recorder. Let's actually make it slowly jostle it instead. Like that. So that's working. Okay, so we've got it shoved to the right and then shoved to the left, and we can record this kind of run through of stuff happening using the record possession. So I'll go into there. But it's not actually going to record anything. You can't see like a dotted line where it's been moving, and if we scope out you can see it hasn't recorded anything up here. And if we play back and just move this out of the way, it's not actually going to make it move in the same way again. That's because it waits until the puppet interface receives something into the walk. So if we put just a switch and put that into the walk of the puppet interface, when it's properly hooked up and stuff, it tells the puppet what direction to walk in, but that kind of triggers a possession recorder to start recording. So if we try that again, oh, it's actually walking now. If we put that over there and have it teleport to a normal movable object. So it's rolling there and rolling back, and then flying off. Okay, so we want this to capture this object's performance sort of thing. So if I have a tag on here, this is going to be very rough. And we'll teleport to that tag for the target position and orientation. We just want it to not collide with anything, not movable, not collidable. So you can see it on the front there, and it's moving around in sync with this object. So now if we record that possession, because it's teleporting to that object, the signal to walk isn't actually doing anything, it's just triggering it to start recording. Now if I go out, and I can delete all this stuff, and if I play, that recording has preserved the position and rotation and stuff. So all that's required is for a signal to start going to walk. Maybe you could just pulse it. So if I actually try that. So instead of it going in permanently, we'll just pulse it so that it triggers with a signal manipulator in pulse mode. So now it's not walking off into oblivion because we just pulse a signal into walk. So now if we try and record again, so it's going back and forth, but it doesn't seem to have triggered it. Let's try having a slightly longer signal. Right, so now it's recording properly. Let's see how it looks just with the recording. Let's move over here. Yeah, so it's recorded properly, and then it's looping because it's going back to its initial position. That's because this is looping. So normally once you've done one of these recordings, you can put it into a timeline and then set it to sustain and keep changes, which means once you get to the end, it will just stay there instead of looping back again. And you can also do stuff like if you want it to start, like right now it falls down first. If you want to adjust that so it starts on the ground, then you can just bring this trim over and it chops out the beginning. So now it's starting from on the ground and then it gets hit. And you can trim from the end as well with that as well. Cool. And then what's required after it's recorded. So if we take that out, it still works. If we take the interface and the timeline out, that still works. So all it really requires, we can just remove that chip as well. All it requires is that this still exists. So it just has to have at least one object in it, otherwise it kind of collapses and disappears. So if I deleted that, the group collapsed and now that group doesn't exist anymore and it doesn't replay. So if we just leave one object, and it could be a microchip, or it could be an invisible sculpt, or anything you wanted.
Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new. Go to patreon.com/TAPgiles to get 5 hours of tutorials early for $3. Here's a preview of what you can learn if you choose to become a supporter.
Bye.